in the world, as if intelligence makes you naturally a good person. It's not like that, but it's so high, and wow, he's so intelligent. So what? He's got a good brain. Well, you know, I mean, other people can run fast. Other people can draw, other people can cook, other people can knit socks. So what? You know, but we think that's the top of the top just because they're intelligent. Look at what they're creating sometimes. Not really good things. And they're not necessarily happy people on top of it. So if you have none of these things, and you still have friends, you can trust these friends. If you're not beautiful, not rich, not famous, and you're not very intelligent, and you have friends, they're your friends because of you, not because you're beautiful, rich. Because if you lose any of these, then they go. So we have to see, you know, whom do we choose as our friends? What's the criteria? I remember in India also at one point somebody who was really aggressive and unpolite and you know, having problems, big cuckoo as you would say, fighting with everybody. And I could feel that she likes me. But I kept away from her because I didn't want to be her friend. It took me quite a while to see it as hey, what are you doing? You know, you don't want to be seen with her. You don't want, some people say, what, she's your friend? Then I let her approach me and then it was okay. But you see these things, these instinctive things, very often we don't see what we're doing. So this is what these verses are for, that it shows us, hey, man, you're reading this and you meditate on this, but then you go out there and you don't do it. Then the third one, in all actions I will examine my mind. At the moment a disturbing attitude arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly confront and avert it. So this is mindfulness, awareness. And this has to be practiced in your meditation period every day, which I guess you're doing. I think all of you have a stable, regular, daily mindfulness, shamatha practice. Yes?
Mm-hmm. We try.
Supposed to.
You see, yeah, lojong, I have to say, lojong without training awareness is impossible to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Impossible. Because you don't see these negative emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're so strong, right? And then we only notice them when they're already up. And then it's like, if you have a small fire, you know, a cup of water is enough to put it out. Awareness. The moment you are aware of your negative emotion, you feel, immediately the reaction is you draw the mind inside. You're not staying with the object that makes you upset or attached. You go inside. How does it feel? Yeah, and then, because you take away the energy from the emotion, you take away the object, it dies down. And this is it. It's quite simple. But if it takes a long time until we notice when it's already very big, then we have a forest fire. And then you try with 1 cup of water with our little bit of mindfulness that we practice maybe once a year in a 3-day retreat or something. And you think this cup of water should put the fire out. Well, it won't work. And again, you know, these verses are for us to give us the courage to never give up. If you look how many hours in a day we practice unmindfulness, because every moment of unmindfulness is a practice of unmindfulness, is meaning makes the mind familiar with not being mindful. And then these 20 minutes every morning have to counteract these 23 hours and 40 minutes. It's a bit of an illusion. I would really like to encourage you, and I know that we didn't sit together. Don't depend on just sitting in the group. You know, the Tibetans, they never sit in a group. They give you the tools, and then you go off and you sit. They teach. Yeah? Because if you depend on the group, then you don't do it at home. But if you learn to, 5 minutes every day, same as brushing your teeth. No matter what, the telephone goes away, totally. Because if it goes, then you need to look. Isn't it? It has become such a strong habit. these stupid, I mean, they're good for many things, but for that, they're really not so great. Because they have such an influence on you. You know, even kind of sometimes you are in a conversation with somebody, the telephone rings, and this person on the telephone has priority. Why? Why? I did it today also. It's terrible. It's really terrible. So I'm glad I have to tell you that I noticed that I'm sometimes doing it. I thought it was so important. It wasn't that important. It was half important. That I answered right now. It wasn't talking, it was an SMS. But still, bad enough. So this is, you know, in all actions, I will examine my mind. So we learn. Maybe every hour, 1 minute, put an app on your telephone. But not an app that measures. You know, I mean, I had an app on my telephone which was like singing bowls. Mm-hmm. And then it adds. You know, it says every day, so today 20 minutes, it adds it. And then I find myself cheating. You know, I didn't meditate, but I put the thing on so that it would add it. And I thought, what are you doing? I deleted the ad. I said, what is this? You know? And then it goes into the community. You see how many people meditate.
Yeah, I know this.
It's like, learn to sit alone.
Yeah.
The same way you brush your teeth. Make it a habit. A commitment. You know, I'm so happy when you said, why don't you come for the morning meditation and in the retreat? I said, because I have my own practice and I do that in my room. I don't need a gompa and an altar. I need a quiet place where I'm alone, where nobody disturbs me, and then I do my practice every morning. Because why? Because it's a commitment. And since 20 years, in 20 years you develop a habit of just doing it, and that's it. So, yeah. So if I can do it, you can do it. Then the mind can transform. Yeah? Otherwise it's too difficult. If it's just intellectually here, it's like, yeah, and you're not seeing when these negative emotions arise, then you won't be winning the game. It's a bit like a game. And then number 4, then it starts with other people. First it was just, you know, in general. The first one is, you know, we hold everybody as dear. As you say, it's an attitude. It's not something that we already do out there. We start to see that, oh, I have preferences. Why do I have preferences? For example, very simple. You start to smile at everybody that you meet in the street. Just because it's a family member of a human being. That can be a practice, you know. In Israel, people are reacting. Some of them even, you can see they're surprised themselves that they can't prevent smiling back at you. But it needs to come from the heart also. Like, you really, as if you meet a family member, you can train the mind to see everybody like a family member. Yeah? And so this can be a practice. So everybody, not just the nice person or the rich person or the person who does something for you. But I would say, especially the people who do something in the shops and all this, try to be just helpful by not being a nuisance, by not cutting into this habit of being so demanding. You go to a restaurant, they give you a table, sit down at that table. The food will be the same here as over there. Did you come for the food or did you come for the view? You came for the food. You go on a train, sit down wherever. You want to go from A to B. Okay, the train brings you there. Whether you sit here or there, it doesn't really matter. You know, try to see the habits that we have of ourselves making our lives complicated, on top of it making other people's lives complicated. I was on the train yesterday also. So the train is half empty. You know, so I try to travel not to take space when people have to travel, because I can. And it's also more pleasant than these full trains. So then the train is half empty, like there's a young woman sitting there, she has 2 bags next to her and listening to music, and these 2 seats here are empty. Then there's an elderly woman coming, telling her off that she should take the bags off, and the young said, but here it's free here. So she takes her bags and puts them on the floor, and then the woman walks away, goes noticed how in this country so many people tell other people what they should do?
Yes, we live here.
Amazing. Why?
It's only here?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
It's really, especially in this country, like, you know, you should do like this, you should do like this. Yeah. So how do you react? You tell the other one what they should do. Then you get upset, you know. Instead of saying, oh wow, thank you, yeah, I'll try, okay, you know. And also the young woman got upset, then then the other guy sees it, so they start to talk about this old woman in a bad way who went over there. So then, you know, everybody gets involved, and everybody then starts to...
The whole family.
All family. But that's not what we mean. Yeah, you have this. I also said to Itai, it's quite amazing how quickly one can make contact here. But then also we can create disharmony in the family, and we can also create harmony. So like this. But yeah, you're right, we're all family. So then as another thing, you can stop, even though everybody tells me what I do, I'll cut this habit. I will not tell others what they should do. That's fine. What in Switzerland, the habit is like, they don't tell you what to do, but they tell you what they do. It's something I was really like. I start saying something, and then I haven't even finished, and the person, yeah, I did like go. So that's the habit in Switzerland. Number 4, we start to get involved now with others, and it's in a very mild way. Yeah, we're not going to people that we know already, or that we have strong connections with. Whenever I meet a person of bad nature who is overwhelmed by negative energy and intense suffering, I will hold such a rare one dear as if I had found a precious treasure. Precious treasure because we have labeled ourselves a Lojong practitioner. So, you know, surrounding ourselves with easy people, then you're not a Lojong practitioner, you're somebody who runs away constantly. So then you're happy when you find a difficult person, because otherwise how are you going to practice mind training? And so usually they put these people in 3 categories. The ones who are just, you know, young kids who are just violent and screaming, and who are violent not by nature, but who do little kind of unpleasant actions. Or somebody who does like big, maybe only one, but big unpleasant actions. Or somebody who is suffering and who can't bear it, and you can't help. So you're not running away anymore, but you're actually staying there. So again, the way you would start to do this practice, when on the bus or on the train you want to sit, look at your mind how you choose where you sit. So you will go and sit where you would normally not sit with people. The religious, the fat, yeah, that's what I mean. So, but don't, again, if you're a woman, then don't go and sit next to a man, because I think this is out. So, you know the rules a little bit. So, exactly, this is what I mean. Sit to the not nice people. What I usually do when I go on a train, I start asking, I don't say, is this free? I said, may I sit here? And if I see they go a bit like this, I say, well, you know, it's okay. But not in an aggressive way. I say, it's okay. If you'd rather have me go look somewhere else, I'll go look somewhere else. As if it's their spot. Because they behave like this, as if it's their space. In Switzerland now we have this thing that they announce, if you have bags on your seat, you have to pay extra. And they do it, they charge you extra, especially when the train is full. I think it's a good habit. It's a good thing to cut that habit that people on purpose put them out there so that those pay, then they have to pay more. So that's okay. So this is why I'm saying, so you start to choose the people that you would not sit with. Okay, when you say, oh, religious, so then you use somebody a bit more easy. Maybe not the religious, but young people, soldiers, I don't know. Yeah. Wherever you have an instinct of, oh no, not there. Then you're, yes, there. Or another practice is that you let everybody else go before you on the train. And you think that's easy. Try it out. It's not that easy. But it becomes a habit. There's one less who pushes. One less who makes 20 others nervous. Because, oh, I might not get on the train. It's so pleasant. It works. It really works. You know, and it's only once I missed the bus. Once. in these 20 years. It's okay. Yeah? Okay, now the fifth one. It's getting more and more difficult. When others, out of jealousy, mistreat me with abuse, slander, and so on, I will practice accepting defeat and offer the victory to them. Have you ever tried that? Have you ever been in a situation like this when there was the people were looking who is to blame? Have you ever been in a situation like this? Okay.
Yeah.
Did somebody ever try this verse out? And
it wasn't pleasant.
and then what happened?
I just stand there and shut up and didn't say anything. I waited the other person will speak, a woman, and she didn't. So I take the blame because I thought that I'm strong enough to stand, and she can't do it.
So he said, it's my fault, I did
Yeah,
the mistake.
yeah.
And then?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly, nothing. So, did it calm the situation?
Pardon?
Did it calm down the situation?
Yes.
Yeah. This is quite magic, actually. And I read you something. This is a commentary not on the 8 verses, but on the 7-point mind transformation, which is actually a more elaborate version of this. It's from Geshe Chekawa, and this is from Trungpa Rinpoche. And there is one point or one slogan in these about 60, 58 or something verses, or slogans. It's slogans that you can write out and you can put on your fridge or whatever, and you think, okay, this week I'm practicing that. Or here also with the verses you can do, this week I practiced that. This week I practiced that. I'll read it to you because it's really good. So one of them is like, put the blame on one thing. Self-cherishing. So it's not self-cherishing, like me, I, this one here. Yeah. So here it says, drive all blames into one. This slogan is about dealing with conventional reality. No matter what appears in our ordinary experience, whatever trips we might be involved in, whatever interesting and powerful situations, we do not have any expectations in return for our kindness. When we are kind to somebody, there are no expectations that there will be any reward for that. Drive all blames into one means that all the problems and the complications that exist around our practice, realization and understanding are not somebody else's fault. Have you ever had the feeling that when there's disharmony in the group, that you think, oh, I can't practice in this group. There's no harmony. I go find another Sangha. We blame others. In order to practice, I need quiet. Yeah, you have quiet at home. You know when you say practice meditation, at home is quiet. So you can sit there. Here you come because maybe you can contribute to harmony instead of running away. Good thing that it's very rare that there's disharmony and fighting in Sanghas, isn't it? It was meant a little bit cynical. Yeah. Gachin Rinpoche said, if you're a Sangha member, you have to learn to be a wooden cup. Because, you know, Sangha members are like same as everybody else, humans. So we have conflicts. It's normal, it's okay. But if two wooden cups clash, they don't break. If two porcelain cups clash, they break. If one is a wooden cup and the other one is a porcelain, the porcelain doesn't break. So you can be a wooden cup. So Lojong is about becoming a wooden cup. You're not blaming anybody else. You're not hurting them. You're not blaming back. Oh, it's your fault. That's difficult. The ego doesn't like that. Yeah.
Do you want water?
No, it's fine. I have still half of it. Thank you. This will be okay. I'm just looking for, because otherwise it's a bit long. But he uses a very nice. So this slogan is the essence of the Bodhisattva path. Even though somebody else has made a terrible boo-boo and blamed it on you, you should take the blame yourself. In terms of power, it is much simpler and more direct way of controlling the situation. You know, we always want to control the situation. When you say it's my fault, that's it, you're in control. Nobody blames you. I mean, you don't need to defend yourself. That's it. It's so simple, actually, you know. In addition, it is most direct way of simplifying complicated neuroses into one point. Also, if you look for volunteers around you to take the blame, there will be no volunteers other than yourself. By taking that particular blame on yourself, you reduce the neurosis that's happening around you. People calm down because they know, oh, I'm not going to be accused. They calm down.
You have to feel like it's your blame, or just say it?
No, you don't have to feel it's your blame. You take the blame in order to calm the situation. But you know, when you know about karma, when difficulties arise, why do they arise? Why?
Seeds of karma that...
Yeah, it's old negative karma ripening. So basically, I did make the mistake. You know, this guy comes to get 400 francs from me. Why? Because with somebody, somewhere, I have a debt. He came to collect the debt. So there's all these factors. One thing, you do it because nobody else wants to take the blame. Okay, I take it. Like, for example, you know, a mother, when she has a difficult husband, yeah, who's always screaming and blaming and violent, and the kid has made a mistake. And she knows that the kid is going to be beaten. She will take the blame, no problem. Does she feel it's her fault? No. Why does she take the blame? Because she doesn't want the kid to be beaten, and she wants the situation to be calm. That's the attitude, so that nobody else gets beaten, nobody else gets hurt.
I might pay
the price, yeah.
The price.
Yes.
I might sit
Yes.
in jail for.
So that's
for
fantastic.
That. I've never tried it. Maybe it's
You know, I mean, you wouldn't go and, you can go and to the police and say they're looking for a murder, and you can go to the police and say, I did it. Yeah. You can try it out.
But then you leave the real murderer out.
You leave the real murderer out.
But it's a lot of time to meditate.
Huh?
A lot of time
You have
to
a lot of time to meditate, you have nothing else to do, so it's perfect. So again, try not to jump into the high things, you know, just think in your workplace or, you know, somebody. I mean, have you ever seen when, you know, mistake somewhere and somebody just says in a very normal, natural way, oh, I did it, it's my mistake. It's magic. It's so refreshing. Everybody relaxes. But what happens usually? We try to cover up. And we even, you know, let somebody else be blamed when it was our mistake, isn't it? Somebody else gets blamed. We're quite happy that we didn't have to do it. So again, it's more or less an attitude that you are doing here. But if you would be a real bodhisattva now, which we're not, I mean, I'm not, then we could go to prison for that person. Why would you go to prison for that person? And this is now really extreme, and I'm not advising you to do it. You would go to prison for that person as a bodhisattva, so you make contact with that person. That person owes you something. So that maybe 700,000 lifetimes later, you can teach that person, because there's some karma ripening between you. That's the bodhisattva attitude. Maybe we're not there yet.
Don't try it at home.
Yeah, no. We're not there yet. So, but that would be, you know, bodhisattva can stand at the corner in the boiling heat, knowing that this person that like 700 lifetimes later he can teach, so that he sees him. That's the bodhisattva attitude. So bodhisattva, bodhicitta, when you use these words, is very, very, very high. It's very high. We're trying to develop bodhicitta, okay? We're not bodhisattvas. Maybe also that's a good question, so that you're really clear on what bodhicitta is. Because very often I hear people saying, oh, he or she is a real bodhisattva. Who is a real bodhisattva? What can you give me the definition of a bodhisattva?
One who completes to work on all his qualities.
he chose to come here to teach others how to.
Mhm.
Person that got enlightened but stayed in the samsara to
Oh
help
no,
others?
this is a very old translation. You've got a very old book. That is not what a bodhisattva is.
Vintage.
Because if somebody got enlightened, he is a Buddha. He's not a bodhisattva.
Yeah, but I read somewhere that if he's a Buddha if he's getting out of samsara, but if he decides to stay in samsara...
This is very old translation.
Okay.
It's not accurate.
Just remember
It's not like
the
that.
word. Okay.
No. You know, there's something which is called non-abiding nirvana.
It's my fault.
Oh, it's you? Okay, so this is, no, it's not like this. Bodhisattva, bodhicitta is the mind who wants to attain enlightenment. That's one reason, one way, one goal. I need to become a fully enlightened being so I can be of benefit to others. So the wanting of benefit to others needs to be stronger than I want to attain enlightenment. But the wisdom that I cannot be of benefit to others if I'm not enlightened is I need to attain enlightenment. So it's these two things, they need to be together, not just compassion.
I got confused
Can you
between
say again?
bodhicitta and bodhisattva now.
Okay, body is meaning full awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Citta means mind, intention, mind, yeah, attitude, whatever. So bodhicitta is in the mind. At the moment we have ego citta, okay? Like the wish for me to be happy is there all the time. This is why I'm not jumping out of the window. This is why I drink when I'm thirsty. This is why I stop eating when I've eaten enough. Because why? Because I don't want to suffer. I want to be happy. So this attitude, this direction where I go is always there. It's not that I'm always going in the right direction, but the wish to be happy is always there. So that's ego citta for me. Okay?
Ego citta.
Yeah. So bodhicitta is like the mind who wants to attain enlightenment, and then this ego citta is totally spread on all beings in order to make everybody happy. And happy not by giving them the perfect coffee, but happy to lead them to full awakening. So for that you need to be out of samsara. Yeah, this is it. And then there's different levels, like there's the 10 levels of a bodhisattva. But yeah, in older translations it's like that. Somebody who puts off his own enlightenment, but also Buddha can come back. This is non-abiding nirvana. They might manifest as a bodhisattva, but in their minds they're totally developed already. Okay?
So he's not.
But it's these two. No, bodhisattva is not enlightened.
Okay.
But a bodhisattva is not just here to help. A bodhisattva knows I need to practice this path of compassion and of wisdom and method, so I attain enlightenment in order to liberate all other beings. Because only a Buddha has like universal compassion, universal wisdom. You see, only a Buddha can see the two truths simultaneously. Only a Buddha. And as long as you can't see these two truths simultaneously, you don't feel people properly, kind of. Yeah, you might have a lot of compassion, but the wisdom is missing. The skillful means are not really there.
So the bodhisattva he also have delusions?
Depends on what level he or she is. Yeah. Well, you have ordinary bodhisattvas who they haven't even attained enlightenment yet. They haven't even seen or realized emptiness. They're on the path of preparation or on the path of accumulation or path of preparation. These are ordinary bodhisattvas. Of course they have delusions, especially ignorance. Not as thick as ours, but yes. When do you enter the bodhisattva path? There's 5 paths, yeah?
When they pay to the schools.
New definition. When do you enter the bodhisattva path? When do you enter the Buddhist path? Let's start there. When do you enter the Buddhist path?
When you understand your suffering?
Almost.
When I accept the Four Noble Truths.
Yeah. When you develop renunciation. When all your actions are directed in getting out of samsara, spontaneously. Like you wake up in the morning, you say, what can I do against my negative emotion, or not against, what can I do to recognize my negative emotion in order to eliminate them? What can I do to develop the qualities? It's more like, renunciation is more like, what can I do to stop the causes for the suffering? I'm not creating more. So you see, renunciation, if you are locked into a toilet, even the toilet is very nice, but you know there's a better world outside the toilet, so you're not making the toilet nicer. You know, you think, oh, I can adjust, there's flowers, but maybe I can adjust them a little bit, and oh, there's a spray, so
That's
I spray. So that's samsara. We're trying to make samsara better. We spend a lot of time in beautifying our toilet. But it's still a toilet. So renunciation is, I want to get out of this. So you're not wasting any time in making the toilet more beautiful. You see, why am I in this toilet? It's because I have negative emotions. That's the cause for samsara. I take, every rebirth, I take these 5 contaminated actions on me. So therefore, I want to drop those. I want to let go of them. Causes, karma, and delusions. So this is renunciation. See, when all your actions are directed in that direction, not to have happiness now, but to get out of samsara, then that you enter the Buddhist path. When that comes spontaneously. At the moment, spontaneously, we have how to make a better samsara. Sorry, I mean, me also, you know. We have renunciation when we're not well. But when things go the way I want them to go, you know, I'm successful, enough money, no pain in the body, no pain in the mind, oh, such a nice place. Wonderful, wonderful world, isn't it? Yeah.
If you want to have money, you will sit in the dark in the toilet.
Huh?
If you want to have money, you will sit in the dark.
Yeah,
in the
then
toilet.
you will have more renunciation, by the way. So this is it. But then you see, if you have a lot of suffering, it's very difficult to practice because you don't have the conditions. The mind is not relaxed. You don't have the time. You need to struggle. When you struggle, I mean, just to be in this country where you have to struggle for everything, you create negative karma because you have to use your aggression. Then more aggression is coming back. So what it creates? It creates, you know, the karmic imprints for more aggression in the future. This is it. This is the sad thing about this. It's kind of, it's a, you know, it turns the wheel.
It's kind of paradox.
What?
If you say that you need to have the conditions to get out, to not to get out of the suffering.
Yeah.
So if you have very bad conditions and,
Yeah.
and you can't walk on the way getting
Yeah.
out of the suffering, you can get out of the suffering.
Exactly.
So-
This is why we have to practice now while we have them.
Yes.
Because we can lose them anytime. Anytime. This is what is called precious human rebirth, what we have at the moment, which is very precious. It's very rare on top of it, and it's totally unstable. We can lose our faith, we can lose our interest, we can lose the place where we practice, we can lose our sangha, we can die. And we don't know where we're going to be reborn. It's not a paradox. You see, you talk paradox, God. Okay? Somebody is controlling this whole thing. So it's not fair that those who suffer so much don't have the conditions to get out of it. This is theistic thinking. Somebody created this. We created. Nobody else. Nobody else. So this is why if your life goes fairly easy and then we have no wish to practice because it goes fairly easy. You see? So you say you don't have no money, then the toilet is dark, so you don't see where you're going. But when the toilet is nice and lit and everything, then we say, oh, it's quite nice. That's the paradox, that we don't use the conditions when we have them. So many people say, oh, well, I'll practice when I'm old, then I will have time. But then your mind might be dement and whatever.
That's why we should be.
Okay, so you enter the, yes, that's why you should practice now. So be happy.
No,
No, we are practicing. So don't think, oh, I'm wasting my time. No, you're not. We're here and we're discussing these things. So that's fantastic. Nobody's asking you to practice 24 hours a day. Okay? You do whatever you can, and you're happy about that. See, the happier you are, the more your practice will work, because the closer you come to the nature of your mind. So first in the West, we have to drop all this guilt stuff and this thing, and learn to be relaxed. And not like, I have to be a good person, I have to do this, oh, this is self-judging, I shouldn't do this. You just have to recognize these things. If you become too tense, you become even worse than before. If you want to be this bodhisattva at all costs, let me help you. No, I don't need your help. Yeah, let me help you. Oh, come on, leave them alone. They don't want your help, fine. They don't want your attention, leave them alone. It's fine. You fail, it's fine. Develop compassion for yourself. You're angry, it's okay. See what is creating the anger. Look behind the anger. Don't stay in the anger. Go behind it and go, oi, what's happening here? And then all of a sudden you see, with a lot of compassion for yourself, some need got not fulfilled. Then you start to think, oh, I have so many needs. It's a bit non-realistic to think that everybody should fulfill my needs. This is why we're getting angry, because we have all these expectations. Then all of a sudden you can think, oh, I have these needs. Other people also have these needs. Maybe I could start trying to fulfill theirs. And that's also magic. All of a sudden everything goes much easier. It's like taking the blame. Instead of wanting the world to fulfill my needs, I start to fulfill theirs. Not because I want something back, just because I want to do that. Just because. It's like, stop putting reason. I do this because, just do it. Just do it. And he uses here, I'm not going to read it out because it takes too long, it's quite long article. But he uses here about this thing, a very nice example. He says, if you have a football, like leather football, and it's been in the rain, and it's moldy, and it stinks, and on top of it, it's full of worms. So that's the thing, the mistake. So it says, you kind of throw it around in a room. Nobody wants to keep it, and everybody gets very excited. Oh no, you have, and then you catch it and you say, okay, I hold it. That is taking the blame. Immediately calms the situation down, and then you can talk about the situation. Nobody says you shouldn't talk about what happened, but only once the situation has calmed down. If people see that you have taken the blame, they calm down. It's okay. They see that, oh, I won't be blamed. Especially the ones who were not guilty. Because that's what happens, it's not your mistake, but everybody keeps blaming each other and everybody gets defensive. So these people who didn't do the mistake, then they calm down. They don't need to defend themselves anymore because it's not their fault. Yeah? Do you see what I mean? So this is what this verse means. And you start small. You don't start with big things. Here it says, when others out of jealousy. Do you have people who are jealous of you sometimes? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so how do you feel? Of course. Yeah. How do you feel about this?
Really bad.
Does it make you happy?
No.
Why not? It should make you happy. Hey, somebody's seeing that you're having something good. Why does it make you so unhappy?
Because they're not happy when I'm happy.
Okay, so if you're unhappy because they're not unhappy, then that's fine. That's where, if that makes you feel bad. Is it really that? Isn't it sometimes when we feel somebody's jealous of us that we like to show off a little bit, and we like to show off that we're in a good mood, or no? Nobody? Wow.
Jealous people are dangerous.
Huh?
Jealous people are dangerous. That's what I feel in my workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone is jealous, wants to harm me at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to do something bad to me, so I...
They want to destroy your happiness because they can't bear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is why we need to give them something, so that they calm down, because jealousy is a feeling of poverty, of not having something. So in order to help them, we give them something. We give them the victory. Is that easy?
Yes.
No. So you start to praise them. You start to ask for their help, if they're open enough, so that they can show their qualities. You say, look, I don't know how to do that. Can you help me? It doesn't. You don't have to fake it. I'm sure they know something better than you do. Yeah? Or you tell them, oh, what a nice T-shirt. If it's not nice, of course, then it's what's my old T-shirt. What is it? You know? Be honest. Find something that is praiseworthy. Don't be a fake. It's not about becoming a fake. It's about becoming also kind of thinking, if I would be in the space of that person, if I would be that person, obviously the person is not happy. This is why they're jealous. What would make them happy? You know,
Come here.
Huh?
If they come here.
Sometimes it makes them happy if I go out of their way.
Mm-hmm.
So I go out of their way, not to protect me, but to protect them, because I see I am the cause for their thing. And to be really, really careful that when they're around, I'm not showing off how well I am, how relaxed I am, how patient I am, you know, like that. And to ask them for help. It's a sign of poverty. You know this whole thing about the blame. I mean, come on, let's just be honest. If something good is happening, it's always I did it, isn't it? 100%. If I goof up, okay, yeah, maybe 20% my fault, but it's la 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 la, you know. So if by taking the credit always when we do something good 100%, we should also be able to take the blame 100%. Otherwise, it's not fair. You know, so something goes wrong, even others are involved, because also, well, you know, we do something good, oh, I did, yeah. We don't see how other people contributed to it. So if we are like that, then also when we make mistakes, we take 100% the mistake. And if, you know, if you can develop some compassion for people who are jealous, then, yeah, try to protect them from their jealousy and don't show off. This is the first thing. And you know, again, just be honest and try to see how, look inside. What is the ego saying now? How does it want to react? Do I want to go and ask for help? Do I want to show my weaknesses? You know? Because to them you appear really strong. That's why they're jealous. At least better or stronger than they. Jealousy is a terrible, delusion, a terrible mental factor, because it's totally loser, because they can't enjoy what they have anymore, and it doesn't take anything away from you. But if somebody is jealous of you, that means you have qualities that they don't want to admit, but they see. You know, a friend, they can praise you and all this, you don't know if they really mean it. But if somebody's jealous of you, that means they see something in you that they would like to have, something good, quality or something like that. So you can start seeing it like this. So you can be proud, you know. Again, pride can be a good thing. This is why I stopped using the word pride, and I start to use arrogance, because I think arrogance we understand is always negative. Pride can be very healthy self-confidence. Wow, great, I can do this, you know. You don't have to go and tell the whole world. It goes into arrogance or pride when you have to compare it with somebody else. Better, same, worse. Okay. I haven't finished with the Bodhisattva path before. So when do you enter the Bodhisattva path? When you have developed the wish for the happiness for all beings spontaneously, without having to think. You know, I don't have to think, oh, what do I need today so that I have a happy day? I just have to wish, that's enough. And then that wish directs me. I feel like going for a walk. Okay, go for a walk. I feel like staying in bed, so I don't get up like this. I don't need to, you know, to think, oh, it's instinctively like. So when you have this for all beings, of course you also have it for your children, and for your partner, or for your friends. But when you have this for all beings, then you become a bodhisattva, then you enter the bodhisattva path. Then you go on the path of accumulation, where you develop shamatha and special insight. Only intellectually yet, about emptiness. A path of preparation, you train that, especially shamatha. And when these two minds get combined, you get a yogic direct perceiver of emptiness, which then you're on the path of seeing. And then you become an Arya Bodhisattva. The Arya Bodhisattva then needs to go on the path of meditation, where he practices especially the 6 perfections. But the 6 perfections, whenever you practice generosity, the other 5 are there. You practice generosity with ethical conduct. You're not robbing a bank to give away the money to the poor, for example. You practice generosity with patience because you don't want anything back. You continue to be generous even nothing comes back, so you have patience. You practice generosity with enthusiastic effort, makes you very happy because you just want to give. See, generosity is a mind that feels rich, who can give. Generosity is the economy of the heart. It can be time, can be money, can be material things. So again, when you practice generosity, whatever you give away, you know. I remember in India, you know the banknotes that are torn? Banknotes?
Oh,
The ones that are torn,
Yeah.
nobody takes them. So that's always the first ones you want to get rid of because you can't, you know, so then sometimes people in the banana box, we found a lot of these notes.
Yeah.
And people feel very generous. Giving something in the dana box that we can't use either. Or worse, giving it to the beggars. So the beggar very happy. You know, it's like if you give a rotten sandwich to a beggar who is hungry. Because he has it, but he can't eat it. So when you give away, when you feel very generous and give away, look what you give. Is it the one, you know, do you give the things that you don't need anymore? Or, you know, if you have, okay, 2 books of the same kind. So you think, one is enough, one is old, one is new. Which one do you give away?
The old one.
Yeah. And you feel very generous on top of it, you know. I mean, you need humor to do these practices so we can see how childish we are. That even with this, the same book, the same things written on it, if I would only have one, the old one would be okay, but I have 2, I keep the new one. And since I already read it, I probably will never read it again, so why don't I give the new one, you know? So you start to switch these things. Yeah. Your clothes that you put in the bin for the refugees or whatever, give those ones, try to give at least, you know, one that you're still very attached to. Give you good things. Like also a friend of mine, very rich, her daughter very rich, committed suicide. So she had like 50 cashmere sweaters, whatever, so it was very painful for the mother to empty that apartment. You know, so I said, why do you do it? Like just phone the Red Cross and they come and get it and then give it to the refugees, of which we have many now in Switzerland. And she said, yeah, but it's Kashmir. So I said, yeah, well, so what? Why shouldn't it be for poor people? So she made the friends of her daughter come, who also have each one 50 sweaters, to choose another sweater. I don't understand this logic. For the merit of the daughter, it would have been better if it's needy people who get it than these people put it in their cupboard and maybe never wear it. Yeah. So this is, you know, what we start to see with ourselves. Okay, so then goes so with enthusiasm, the joy of giving. Practicing generosity with enthusiasm, or, you know, what's it called? Joyous effort. I don't like the word effort.
Zeal.
Huh?
Also some books. יש a son of München, he called it zeal.
Zeal, yeah, like enthusiasm, a lot of power in it, a lot of energy, joy, you know, to give. wow, I have something to give, how wonderful, you know. So try to be also when you give, you know, if you, for example, if you make something and you want to sell it, you're happy when it's good quality. So how can you be happy when you give a cheap thing, you know? Again, the economy of the heart. Really learn to give so that you're happy about giving. Not just mindlessly giving something to a beggar or whatever. Give as much as you can, always. Not as little so that it's still okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're too stingy to give anything, then it's okay, you give little. But then learn to give, stretch, you know. This whole practice is about stretching our borders. And really, giving is, you have an immediate result of feeling good if you give something that you would be happy to receive. But only then, you know. Giving is such an easy practice. This is why it comes at the bottom. So you give with joy. Then next one is concentration. So you know what to give. You also think, what should I give? What is useful? Like Kashmir sweater to somebody who already has 50, maybe no need. Better to give these people some time if they want it. And then with the wisdom, meaning the thing that I'm giving, and the person who receives it, totally empty of any inherent existence, no need to become proud about this. There's nobody who gives, nothing is to be given, nobody who receives, really. Only conventionally, but really, no. Inherently existing, no. So then you have the 6 perfections in one. Yeah, so you practice them like this, especially with the view of emptiness always. So that's on the path of meditation, and then you become a Buddha, which is the path of no more learning. And then you have eliminated all negativities, and you have developed all qualities that you can have. And it's a very structured way. I mean, you can, in the texts, you can, read these stages of the path. So basically, you always know where you are. So then all of a sudden we start to discover I'm on no path whatsoever because I don't have spontaneous renunciation, but it doesn't matter. Then we know. And we know we have to again and again and again and again and again come all the way back before we do these wonderful practices and think, dukkha, suffering. No satisfaction as long as I have these negative as long as I have these kleshas. As long as I see the world separate from my mind out there, I will, even if I'm, in the highest region, there's still dissatisfaction. This wish that we have for freedom, for space, for purity, for openness, it will never be fulfilled as long as I'm in samsara. Then again we check, what do I do first? Okay, first I have to give up the negative actions, then my life becomes easier so I can work with my negative emotions.